All right, y'all, let's get into the final seed haul for 2026. And if you saw my last video, then you know that I said I was not going to buy any more seeds. I have confirmed that that was a lie. So I have purchased more seeds, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this video of one company, and then I'm going to do a second video from the other company because I don't want to make this super long. So let's get into it. So I want to start with tomatoes, some of the tomatoes that I get. Now, this is the groworganic.com is where I purchased these from. I love this company. I always get really great seeds from them. So if you're looking for organic heirloom seeds, then that is a good resource. But this one is from there. I just go to groworganic.com online and order. So the 3 tomatoes that I got from them are the Chadwick's Cherry, and I've told y'all that that's one of my favorites before. It's a very good, prolific cherry tomato. If you're looking for a really great cherry tomato, this is one of my favorites. I was trying to see if there's anything on it that I should share. It says it's indeterminate. Of course, most cherry tomatoes are indeterminate, and that just means that they're going to keep growing until the first frost. So they're basically going to produce. Once they start producing, probably like mid-July, then once they start producing, they'll keep on producing until the end of growing season. A determinate tomato, on the other hand, is like the bush tomatoes that are just going to produce a lot at once, pretty much, and then they're kind of done. So, but this is my favorite, one of my favorite cherry tomatoes, Chadwick Cherry. I've grown these every year. Love them. The Sweetie Cherry is another one that's really close to that. I like that one too. Very similar. This one's a little smaller and a little sweeter. Hence the name Sweetie. And then I have grown these before, the Mortgage Lifters. These are really, really good slicing tomato. They're a really good size slicing tomato. Great flavor. Let's see if it says anything else on here. Doesn't really talk about it much on here, but it says they are more disease resistant than some. So, but I have grown these before and love those Mortgage Lifters. And there's a story behind that. I'm not going to go into that, but all right. I also said, I said last time, see, I get in these seed catalogs. If y'all are gardeners and you grow from seed and you get in these seed catalogs, you know that it's like those Sears catalogs when we were kids. I'm showing my age here, but when we were kids, we'd go through the catalogs and want everything that we saw. That's the way I do with seed catalogs. So I end up getting things that I really, too much. But I also said last time that I only grow eggplant, the Black Beauty now, because I've tried so many. But these 2 caught my eye, and there are some I've never heard of. So I was like, I'm going to try them because I've never heard of them. So this is the Louisiana long green eggplant, which I thought was unusual, and I like trying unusual things too. So that is what it looks like, and I'm really interested in that. And it says that the eggplants are prolific, they're sweet, mild, and they reach up to 12 inches long, so they're excellent for frying, braising, roasting, and grilling. They're spineless, hardy, and disease resistant. So that all sounded so good. I had to try these. So I'm going to grow these this year, and I will keep y'all posted on how that goes. The second one that I couldn't resist are these Millionaire F1 Asian eggplants. They kind of look similar to the Black Beauties in size, I think. But let's see what drew me to it. I don't know if it's going to tell it on here, but when you go online and you start reading about these things, everything just sounds wonderful. Tender, delicious Japanese variety with minimal seed cavity. I think that's what drew me to it because they're not supposed to have a lot of seeds. So those are the 2 besides the Black Beauty that I'm gonna venture out with this year on eggplant. All right, some of the squash variety. I talked about these Claremore. This is like a zucchini, Claremore zucchini, and these are probably my most favorite zucchini besides the rampicante, the long tube looking ones. But these are probably my favorite because the squash bugs don't seem to be very interested in these. And so the Claremore and they're a Middle Eastern zucchini. And again, it says Renee's Garden, and it's just one of the seed varieties that you can pick from groworganic.com. So if you're looking for these, that's the only place that I've seen these. You may find them somewhere else, but I've never seen them anywhere else. So groworganic.com. And if you grow zucchini, you need to grow these for sure. And they grow fast and they're very prolific. You'll have a new one once they start growing, once they start producing, you'll have a new one all the time. And again, the squash bugs seem to stay away from them, and that's always a plus. I look for things like that. All right, the next, and I hesitate to grow yellow squash because of the squash bugs. They seem to always tear my yellow squash up. But I do like to grow them, and I try to grow several plants so that I do get at least 1 or 2 harvests from the yellow squash. I like to make the squash casserole and that sort of thing. So if I can at least do that once, then I guess it's worth it. But this is one I'm trying, the prolific straight neck squash. And it says it is, oh, I was thinking it said this was disease resistant, but it doesn't say that. But yeah, so that's the one. That's the only yellow squash that I'm growing. And I'm going to grow about 4 or 5 plants. And then this is different than the Rampicante that I get from Baker's Creek, but I thought I would try this one too because it is that long vining squash or zucchini. It says squash, but they're green, so I think a zucchini when I say green. But this is the Trombetta di Albinga, if I'm saying that right. It says rambling vines bear long, curvy squash with a delicate, nutty flavor. So I'm going to try that. That's new this year. So there's that. That's on the squash from Grow Organic. Now, if you saw my desk right now, you would think, she has a problem. Okay, moving right along. Basil. I love growing basil. It's a good companion plant for tomatoes and eggplant, I think, and several different things. If you're going to try companion planting, which means you're going to grow things together that feed the soil, help feed each other based on what they're putting in the soil and what they take out, and then also what they help to like deter pests and things like that. So basil is really good for that. It helps with nutrients in the soil, but it also helps with pests around tomatoes especially. And it's supposed to, even if you, my mom sent me something the other day, I'd never heard this, that basil can also help, if you plant them near tomatoes, it can also help the flavor of tomatoes. I've never heard that. So, but this is a new one I've not tried yet. It's Tulsi basil. And this has a unique spicy aroma with hints of coffee and chocolate, which is exactly why I was drawn to this. So I'm going to try that one. That's a new one. The Thai basil, I think I mentioned that last time, is my favorite. It's good for Asian cuisine. It has a sweet anise clove flavor, and they have the purple stems and the flowers. Then, of course, lemon basil, and that's just a citrusy lemon. I've grown that before. Cinnamon basil, I've grown cinnamon before, and it has the purple stems and the purple leaves, real pretty when it flowers. And then this is a new one I'm trying. It's a Prospera DMR basil. And I had never heard of it, so I thought I would try it. Let's see. It says beautifully long, glossy leaves with excellent flavor and improved downy mildew resistance. The sweet and aromatic basil has excellent resistance to the mildew and keeps in the field, suitable for greenhouse field and containers. So I just thought I would try that one. This one I had never heard of. And I like to try things that I've never heard of and see how they do in the garden. My philosophy or theme has always been try it and see what happens, because that's kind of what I've been doing since the beginning. I've just been trying things and seeing what happens. So radishes, and I do have a few already started, but I'm gonna throw these out there because it's March and this is the perfect time to grow radishes. So these are the Dutch, oh no, these are beets, sorry, radishes. These are the French breakfast radishes, and these are my favorite. They are kind of longer, and they're just good for snacking, throwing in a salad. They're really good. I love these. 2 inches long, make for a great snack. So these are my favorites. And I like all kinds of radishes, but And then these are the Dutch beets, baby ball beets. And I thought these were interesting because they're the smaller beets. And I thought that would be great because they don't take that long to grow. So I'm going to try those. I've never tried those. And I've only grown beets once. And I need to grow more because I do like beets. Okay, I'm going to move on closer to like flowers. But first, I want to show you the beans that I get strictly for flowering purposes because they have beautiful flowers, different colors, and then I put them all throughout the garden and it adds more color in the places that I want them to. And the first one, if you've seen my garden, if you've seen videos, you've seen this one. I put it on my arches, and that is the purple hyacinth bean. And I get mine, every one that grows in my garden, the seeds have at some point come from groworganic.com, and this Renee's Garden is the seed variety or the seed brand or whatever. And they're awesome. I've never gotten them anywhere else from anybody else. So these are the good ones. Great if you want anything to add flowers. Now the flowers are late summer, so you're going to start having flowers, and then lots and lots of flowers later on towards August and September. And these will bloom all the way to the frost. So you'll have purple, beautiful purple flowers wherever you put these all the way through until it's like late October or whatever. But these are great, and these attract hummingbirds. I have hummingbirds and butterflies and honeybees, all those. So another one that I've grown is this scarlet runner bean. I think I talked a little bit about these, but I didn't have a picture of these. So that's why I like these, because they have that real pretty red flower on them. And of course you can eat the beans. I'm not anti-beans. I do like beans, but I mainly grow things like that for the flowers. And again, this is a new one. Again, this is one I'm growing for the flowers. You can see it's like that light pink color. And these are the French gold, and that's another color that I wanted to add is the yellow gold bean with the pink flowers. I think that's really going to be pretty. So, and then of course I'll try the beans, to eat the beans. And then this one is another one that's called the Painted Lady. And I guess that's kind of a reddish coral flower. I don't see the bean on there, but I don't know. I guess it's just a green bean. So those are the beans that I'm going to grow, primarily for the flowers. I will grow some other beans for eating, but those are mainly for flowers. All right, let's start with some of the other flowers, and these are some of the sunflowers that I'm going to grow. I always have volunteer sunflowers too, so I always have a lot of the yellow, the big tall, like mammoth, because I grew those one year, and now they pop up every year from the self-sowing and overwintering, and I leave the pods out there so they drop all the seeds and everything. So, and that's something you can do with sunflowers too. You can just put the pod or whatever it's called. You can just shake it and put the seeds on the ground and cover it up, and then you should have some the next year. So I've grown these before, the Autumn Beauties. It's just kind of a variety. Very pretty, great selection in there. You've got yellow, copper red, and red purple. Some of them have bicolor halos, and many of them have the secondary blooms. So this is a good one. If you're only wanting to grow like one sunflower and you don't really want yellow, this is a good option. All right, then the chocolate cherry is a little bit different. Really pretty. Oh, I'm going to tell you how tall they get. Let's see. Let's see if it tells 5.5 feet stalk on these. So pretty tall. And then these, 6 to 7 feet. So I have grown these before, and they get above my head. So, and then this one, I don't think I have grown this, but I've grown some that look kind of similar. It's called Evening Colors Sunflower. I thought that was real pretty. And the pictures online show real pictures, and they're really beautiful. And these get 8 feet tall. So another really tall one. Okay, now just some flowers that I'm going to grow for pollination and color. Sorry, I'm being loud. Pollination for the butterflies and the bees, and then also for just pops of color everywhere. These are the Queen of the Night Heirloom Sweet Peas. And I'm going to get these started soon because these are a colder weather. These are like a spring, and I don't know if they'll do fall too, but these are a cooler weather. They don't like it. Yeah, okay. So it says start them in March to April, and then September. Let's say September. So that is going to be one I'm going to start right now and get that out there. Nasturtiums. This is the ones you can put in like hanging baskets. It's called Little Firebirds, and nasturtiums are edible. You can eat them. I don't know. I guess the peas. I don't know. You might want. I'm not going to talk about some that I don't know for sure. But these, I've eaten these. They have kind of a peppery flavor. You can throw them in salads, make them real pretty. So if you like edible flowers, nasturtiums are a good one. They're also good for deterring some pests. So they're good to grow around cucumbers. Trying to think what else. I don't know, but they're good for companion planting too. These I've grown before, cathedral bells. They're really beautiful, and they look almost exactly like that photo there. Really pretty. Maybe not that quite deep purple, but I grew these, and I had them last year and loved them, and I thought I should have grown more of these because I love them so much. And they're vining, so you need a lot of space. A trellis, a fence, or something like that, an arch. These will be good for that. And a lot of these are for growing up because I like to grow things along my fence, around the garden, and then also have lots of arches. Now I'm going to have lots of roses around my arches this year, so these will probably be all around the fence. This is Exotic Love Vine. I've never grown this one, but I thought this is really beautiful. So that one's another one that you need vining. Cosmos is a favorite of mine. This is kind of I guess a variety pack. Dancing petticoats. So it looks like there's several different ones in there. Cosmos are beautiful. And then I have some pots around on the little patio area in the garden around the fire pit. And I wanted something that I could start from seed and grow. And so I'm going to put these in it and see how they do. Blue Heaven, and this is lobelia. I'm saying that right. Window box lobelia. So I'm going to try these. They may not do really well out there. I may try them on my front porch too. See how they do. Morning Glories. That is the flower of the September flower. And my birthday's in September. So, but those are pretty. The Hummingbird Favorites. Heirloom Cardinal Climber. And I always have hummingbirds. I never have trouble with hummingbirds because I have so many flowers and things in my garden. They're always there. They come every year, and they will, they're always there. I've had some funny experiences with them, zooming past my head. And sometimes I wear floral things out in the garden, and they have, I guess, thought I was a flower, but they are funny. Okay, this one I bought for the aroma because it's the scented jasmine alata, however you say that. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I do like white flowers. I do think that's really pretty, but I mainly got that for the aroma, just to have some. I like having things that when you walk by, you can just smell them, just like some of the basils, or some of those basils that when you walk by them, they give off a scent, or when I'm weed eating, it smells, and so I like experiencing all the senses when I'm in the garden. So that. And then these I've grown before. If you like what they call it, like a moon garden, a night garden, or whatever, then these moonflowers are really beautiful. Now, you need a lot of space for these. There's kind of like those loofah plants I showed. If you saw the video, these will take over a fence and just cover it. So you need a lot of space for these, but they're beautiful, and they open up at night. So the really big white, they're big, they're like a really big flower. They'll open up at night, and then kind of like the moonlight is supposed to reflect off it or whatever. It makes them really pretty. But I have lights in my garden, so that makes it extra pretty. So if you want something that blooms or opens up at night, that's great. This is another Morning Glory. I just thought it was really pretty. This is just something to add more color around the fence line. The Morning Glories I will just add around the fence line because I don't want to take up a lot of space in my garden for things like that. And I thought these were beautiful. These are miniature roses, angel wings. And I'm going to need to start these soon too because these do like cooler weather. And I'm interested to see how fast they grow and how they do here. So, and I do have lots of roses coming. Something's making my nose itch. Sorry. But I do have lots of rose bushes, new roses coming, climbing roses coming in, and they're supposed to be here mid-March. So I'm really excited about that. And then here are some more nasturtiums. They're called climbing phoenix nasturtiums. They look a little different. The flower looks a little different on them. And again, nasturtiums are edible, so. And let's see. I just want to see if there's something else I wanted to tell you about them, but they're really beautiful. Okay, so I think this video is long enough, but that's everything that, like I said, got from groworganic.com. They have a great selection of seeds, and all the seeds that I've gotten from them over the years, and I've been getting from them all 8 years that I've been gardening. All the seeds I get from them are really great. I have a really nice germination rate with them. And if you don't, you can always reach out to them. They're awesome about you communicate with them. So a selection of a lot of things too, not just seeds. They have a lot of different things. So go check them out, groworganic.com. And the next video will for sure be the final seed haul of 2026, and that one's going to be from Baker Creek. So I love Baker Creek. They have a lot of interesting things, and I love their company too, and I want to visit there. But so we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.